happy Sunday. As you can see, it's nice and rainy out today, and I decided to leave the window open because it just sounds so soothing and relaxing. Excuse the lighting. I'm trying to use as much daylight I can get, but didn't get much since it is a little gloomy out. I wanted to share something very exciting, and that's that I applied for my official graduation. I'll be graduating this upcoming May with my master's degree, and it's just crazy surreal how quick this has come. And so I wanted to share that on here today. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of take you down my career path when it comes down to my student career, and just to kind of put it out there. So for one, as you can tell, I've shared before, I am a mom of 4, and so being in school hasn't been easy. It's taken me quite a number of years, and mainly because I was a young teen mom. And so the reason why I want to put this out there is for those of you that may be in a situation where you are a young mom and you may feel down that you want to go back to school, but you may not feel that you can. Trust me, I was there. So I graduated on time. I was actually a young graduate. I was 17 at the time when I graduated. At the time, I was pregnant. I gave birth to my son that after I graduated in that following early fall, which was in September. I turned 18 in November, so yes, I was a teen mom, but I was also entering into my adulthood. Right out the gate, as soon as I had my son, I said, I'm gonna go to school, and I went into my first year of college, and I was working full-time. I went into it with a full, it was a community college, so I went into it with a full, I believe it was 11 unit semester, and it was just not the right thing to do. I'm pretty sure other women have done it, but I set myself up for failure. I was just overwhelmed. I was at school in the morning. I was going straight to work. Sorry for the noise, my chair. But then I was going straight home to raise my son and leaving an hour or two to do homework, and I was just exhausted at that point. And so the reason why I'm sharing that is because I ended up dropping out. I had to stop. I had to stop what I was doing and just focus on my work. So I did that. Fast forward to a few years later, I had my second son. I didn't think I had the time or the energy to do it. And so I put it off for a long time. Then in 2007, I had my third son. So now here I am with 3 children. At that point, I was working where I'm now currently working, which is a great job, benefits, everything. And I just felt, it really wasn't necessary for me to really go to school. I'm making decent money. Why? And it wasn't until in my current job I started feeling that all these positions were coming up, and a lot of it was, degree is desirable. And although it may not have been required, I felt that could potentially set me back. And so that's when I decided, okay, I need to really start to think about what I'm going to do with my life. And it wasn't until 2008 then I discovered that I once again was pregnant again. And so school was always on the back of my mind, but never really on the forefront. And so I thought, I'm gonna have my daughter. Like, school was the last thing I was thinking about. And again, this other next story that happened in my life is gonna be a whole nother video in itself, and I will probably share that when I feel the time is right, and I think that's going to be soon, because it is coming up on a 10th year anniversary, or birthday I should say. But in January of 2009, I unfortunately miscarried, which would have been my 4th son, and I was at 18 weeks. And so that was a big, just major hit to life, because I had never in my life experienced that. I had never in my life known what it was to lose a child. And so I literally sat at home. The doctors allowed me to take postpartum leave, which my work also authorized me to take the leave of absence. And I'm at home sitting there just being sad, depressed with life. And again, I'll go into details on that in a future video. But I thought to myself, you need to do something with this. If you're not gonna have this opportunity to, after this happened, I really had to stop and think, if anything good is going to come out of this, is that you're going to go back to school. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was just something, just the light bulb went off, and I said, the heck with this. I'm gonna go meet with the counselor. At the time, I lived right down the street from the community college. I hopped in the car, talked to counselor, and next thing you know, I'm signed up for classes. And I did that, and I have never stopped. I haven't looked back. I have failed classes. I have retaken classes. I had to take my math. I'm not a math major, you guys, and I took my math class 3 times, to the point where I was on the 3rd try. And it's this thing that our community colleges have set up, that if you don't pass it in that 3rd try, you have to take it somewhere outside of the district, of that college district. And I'm like, there's no way, there's no way. So I passed that. Once again, the next math course that had to go, so that was a prerequisite to the next level. Again, I had to take it literally 3 times. I mean, it was torture. And it's not even that it's so much that being an issue, but there's also the issue of waitlisting, not having the availability to take the class. I was limited to only after hours, like in the evenings, because of work, while still being a mom. And so I went through that struggle. To me, graduating community college with my associates all the way from fall of 09 through fall of 15, and I don't want this to be a negative to where someone feels, oh no, there's no way I can do it, because that was just my road. You might be great at math and pass every class and just go right on through. That was just me. But I got to the point where I was like, talking to the counselor, what do I need to do? What do I need to take to be done? I even took classes at one point. One class, it was not available except for like on a Saturday, an hour away from where I live. I said, I'm doing it. By what do they call, like scratching at the end. My last class was statistics. I did that purposely because I didn't want to deal with it, and I was already afraid for it. And I was so borderline in passing, and I remember talking to my professor saying, Professor, this is literally my last class to pass, to finish and graduate with my AA. Is there anything I can do? And so luckily for us, he did offer extra credit. He just said, you just gotta rock out that extra credit. And so I did, whatever it is I needed to do, and I passed. So finally in 2015, I ended with my AA, so AST basically, Associates in Science, so AS really, Associates in Science degree to transfer. I walked in May of 2016 and I was awarded my degree in Business Administration. My next college career path into state college here locally, and I actually was able to, I was so fortunate to that because one of my really good friends had told me about this program, and this was also kind of geared for those that were continuing with their college career and were working adults. And so I would go every Friday night, every Saturday morning. There was a few classes that were online, but for the most part they were in person. Instead of having a bunch of classes at once, what happens is it was one class every month. So, but it gave you that feeling of I'm finishing. And when I was getting an A, there was one teacher that gave me a B, and if it wasn't for her, I would have literally finished 4.0. But it woke me up. No, don't think that this is that easy. Keep pushing hard. So A, and I kid you not, I finished the rest of my bachelor's degree with A's. So I did graduate summa cum laude, which means highest honors at, I believe it was 3.94 GPA. And that to me was the biggest thing. Like, I don't care what it is. I don't care if nobody at my job cares. I still put it on my cover letters. I still put it on my resume, because to me, that was a struggle. That's me putting my all into it. That's me making this happen. And so now here we are. I never even thought I would finish with my bachelor's, let alone now enter into master's. So it's been a great journey. It's been a difficult journey. It is a graduate level program. It's graduate work. But I've managed to, I've not complete A's, but I've kept it A's and B's. And matter of fact, our program, you can't even get a C. Anything C or below, that's like you're on academic probation. So you have to aim for that A and B. And so I am an A and B student. I won't say that I doubt that I'll graduate highest honors this time around, but I will finish. That's like, there's no doubt about it. I will finish. Things happen for a reason, and I have dedicated my entire education to the loss of my son Angel, and I won't stop. And this legacy will be because of him. And so if he's not there to be there with me in real life, excuse me that I'm getting a little emotional, he'll be living on through what his mommy was able to complete. So so that's just a little bit of that. But I did want to share that so that I give that little spark of motivation to anyone that may be thinking about going back to school, knowing to not be afraid. Put yourself out there. You never know. I mean, look at me. I put myself out there and failed. And not that I'm a failure, but it just wasn't the time. And so it took that one fortunate life-changing experience to make that change for me. And look where I'm at now. I'm literally months away from walking with my master's degree, something I never in a million years would have thought. I thought I would barely even make it to my bachelor's, if at all. And now here I am to finish with my master's soon. And for me, it's like I have that drive. I've gotten that taste of that success in that aspect of education. I'll know that I have my education, that I can say that I'm finished with my education. I'm a first generation. I'm making my parents proud. Out of my entire family, and I don't say this to discount anyone else in my family, but I will say that I had the feeling that I was looked down upon when I was found out to be pregnant. And I was told I would be the stereotype. I would be the Mexican young teen mom with a child in the welfare line. Did I get public aid? Yes, I did. Again, that could be a whole nother story. But the thing is, I used it for my son's first 5 months of his life, went and signed up and started to work and went off of it. But I'm there to say that it was a step up to the next step of my life. And anyone that may be feeling down, that may feel they can't do it, yes, you can. It won't be easy. I can't promise you that, but it is possible. There's so many programs, financial aid. I mean, it's there. And so a little bit of that negativity that was put in, and I can't even say a little bit, a lot of it, a lot of that drive behind where I'm at today is because I always had that playing in the back of my mind where, oh, she's never gonna make it. She's never gonna do anything now with her life. She was supposed to go to the military. Yes, I was, and that's a whole other story. But it may not have worked out because God had his own plan. And you know what? I don't regret the story I've gone down, the path I've taken. I don't. If anything, it's made me that strong woman who I am today.